Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the latest episode of the Gym Bros podcast with myself, Josh,
Yo.
Bryn,
Hello.
and we've got a guest today. We've got Danny.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good to be here.
Good to have you on. So we started to do a new little feature on the show where we're bringing in friends and people that we know on the show who've gone through a journey of turning their passion into kind of their full-time job. And obviously I've known you for quite some time. A well-known bodybuilder, friend of Jim's. So we thought we'd bring you on and give you the opportunity to talk about your journey from bodybuilding, how you got into bodybuilding, how you progressed, how you've turned that into your passion, and obviously you've now got your own business, which is Redemption Online Coaching. So we want to hear about you, your challenges, and then I think we'll have a little chat about your opinion on the current state of bodybuilding.
Quite a few. If we rewind it, my sporting history was actually football. I was a half decent footballer, so I was always within academy structures. I played for quite a few professional clubs, all the way up to 18, played in the FA Youth Premier League. We got introduced to strength and conditioning training. I already had half an eye, and this sounds a bit weird, but when I was flying out to America, I see a copy of Muscular Development. Most of the kids won't even know what Muscular Development magazine is now, because that's long gone. But you had a picture of Jay Cutler on the front, and I remember going, what a guy, like, what a physique, blonde hair, American beach boy kind of look, you know what I mean? I thought, that's actually decent. And then all these kind of like trauma memories started to come back to me. So we had my mum, when I was younger, she used to leave me in the gym. So obviously it was a strongman gym as well. So you had all these big guys, muscled up, throwing weights around. You had Gladiators on TV, you had Arnie films, you had Rocky. So my passion was always there in the background. And as I started to switch over to strength and conditioning, I realised my passion was the gym. It wasn't football. Got offered a professional contract for West Brom. Obviously being a Londoner at the time, I thought, sod this, I'll nick a contract back down south. Had a long-term girlfriend at the time, so I was whipped. And off I went, but I was still training at the time. I remember walking into my first bodybuilding gym, which was a little gym in South London called Metroflex, which is spit and sawdust, never been cleaned, but the guys there are great. They used to be really good. Old school. I mean, no fancy machines, nothing, just literally dumbbells and bars. And I spoke to the gym manager because I had this half an eye on bodybuilding, and like an idiot, I said to him, do you think I could do a bodybuilding show? He went, write your diet out for me because you need to put on some sides. And I was like, writing my diet down. I was like, I eat loads. I have beans on toast. I have this and that. He was like, this ain't food, mate. You know what I mean? And I was always struggling to put weight on. So within a month of joining that gym, I signed up to do my first bodybuilding show, which was absolutely ridiculous. It was, I mean, I had some audacity to do it.
Yeah.
But I dedicated myself to it. This is back before we only had Facebook. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have TikTok. So you could kind of hide and get away with bringing a bit of a crap physique to the stage. But we shot ourselves, to be honest with you. I entered a show called WABA, which is a federation well gone now in the UK. Ended up coming second in the junior class at the Hercules Olympia, beating like Spanish national champions and all that. And that just set the stage for me, to be honest with you. During that time as well, I had done my personal training qualifications. I just took my first job in a gym, basically cleaning machines, fitness instructor. I worked my way up the ladder. So basically I went from a fitness instructor to leisure professional, duty manager, operations, general manager, whatever you want to go. But I was always personal training alongside that. Even when times I wasn't allowed to personal train on the gym floor, because they were quite strict. I was doing it out of a leisure centre in quite an affluent area. I would still put in fake inductions, do a couple of PT sessions. I was up to mischief, basically. But what that actually set me up to do was to set a base PT, like client base. So I was doing that a good couple of years. And as I got up the ladder, obviously I could put myself onto the books and do it legit. And declare basically what I was PTing. But things got very interesting very quickly for me. So I was personal training out of Dulwich, which again is a good area in South London. And I had a film director So this film director signed up initially for 10 sessions. He's been on my books ever since. But what he managed to do for me is bring me an influx of actors and stuff. So I was very, very lucky to work with some very good actors. Don't want to name drop, but I'm on a podcast, so I'm going to name drop. You know what I mean? Black Panther was the ultimate one. He came over to the UK for a week. He had a premiere. Yeah. Before he passed away. A bit of a story behind that one. He was meant to do 3 sessions in the week. He'd done his first session. This was in like a secret studio in central London. And he went home sick. But obviously we know the reason now. He was cancer. Yeah.
Shit.
I've had a few others. I've had like James Nesbitt, Game of Thrones, Chris Dempsey, Joe Cole, Gangs of London. There's loads of them, but it set me a base. What happened is when these celebrities, because most of the time they're getting in shape for roles, it allowed me to obviously become top PT in that gym. So I just had an influx of clients. So it got to the point where I was like, is it leisure management where I'm getting that base salary every month, safety, or do I risk it? And I'm going to be brutally honest, I never had a pair of bollocks back then. So I was literally running myself into the ground. I'd do my 8-hour shift, then 4 hours PT, then go to the gym, and I was still competitive with my own bodybuilding journey. So I've always been true to that as well. Okay. I started off in 2009, like personal training and stuff, showing my age now. But my first thought, it must have been around about 2011, was to bring online coaching in. I'm going to openly say I was probably the first person in the UK to have the online coaching thought. I remember contacting a web designer, going, how can we do this? And when he gave me a quote, still to this day, I remember it was about 12 grand.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, obviously I was still a young kid, so I was like, I can't do that. What I was doing, however, is I was programming online, Excel spreadsheets and all that stuff. As I've gone forward in my career, I've still done management jobs and whatnot on the side, but I've always kept a healthy online client base. And obviously, as I've got more experience, more knowledge, I've had a lot of natural bodybuilding competitors where we've taken them to shows and stuff and done preps. For people that haven't done online coaching, highly recommend get stuck in yourself, get experienced in learning people's bodies, because not everyone's the same. There's no one size fits all. And that's a massive problem we've got in this day and age. So yeah, that's where we're at now. I've just kind of evolved. And same with the bodybuilding career. I mean, I've had setbacks. I've had years where I've not done it. I've had enough of this now. I think we've all been there. And then it pulls me back in. So various titles I've won. Got robbed at Mr. World in 2018, which I've been pissed off with ever since by a fat Spanish kid. I'm going to be brutally honest. Funny enough, I had James Ford, who's a local as well, backstage helping me pump up and stuff. Me and him together are a nightmare. Like, we was getting banned from shows and everything. Like, the carnage we cause backstage. We're not a good mix. So basically, he was ripping his kid backstage, basically saying he looks pregnant and all that. But he had the last laugh and he beat me. Now, back then, I used to take defeats personally. What I soon learned, and this is a great bit of bodybuilding advice, you don't control the decision. It's not sport. I don't care what anyone says. The training's a sport, but the actual show is a pageant. You know what I mean? Them judges have control. There's politics involved. You don't know what's going on, especially when you're in Europe and stuff like that as well. So I always say, as long as you bring your best package and you're beating yourself, and you can't say, oh, I have no regrets, basically saying, oh, if I didn't have that pack of crisps, I would have placed second rather than third. Do you know what I mean? As long as you're getting better every year, you're smashing it.
Do you not find it's a bit strange that obviously there's all these different federations, you can compete all over the world, but a lot of the shows don't have a judging criteria? Yeah. So you don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
It's literally one day you could do one show and look one way and win it. The day out, like 3 days after, you could do another show with different set of judges and not even place. These
are things that need to be changed. Now, back in the days of UK BFF, you obviously had one federation. If you went elsewhere, you was banned. But UK BFF is where the gold was, as you probably know, Paul.
Yeah.
You've done your regional, You've done your British finals, one pro card for bodybuilding per year. So the best of the best was fighting it out. Obviously now we've got 101 different federations, which from an athlete's point of view is fantastic, because now I can basically skip from one show to the other. I can do multiple shows. But you're right, there is no criteria, and it's not just the bodybuilding guys that are suffering with that. You've got the classic guys. Obviously, you had the Arnold Colombo at the weekend. Massive arguments regarding Urez and was it Brion? I think third and fourth, totally different packages, and there is no criteria. I think one thing that would be great, and they used to do back in the day, is before a show in the athletes' meeting is to say, this is the criteria and this is what we're looking for. I'm not going to name federations these days, but you've got certain judges that are apparently into like pretty boys and whatever, so they place higher than your muscle.
It's like I was looking at, we were talking about it the weekend, we have discussed this at the podcast and stuff, but we were talking about, it was in the gym the other day. Like men's physique is a great example. So when men's physique was created, it was supposed to be an attainable look, like a beach body look.
Yeah, it was a healthy look you could do, men's health.
Whereas you look at Ryan Terry, men's physique, he's a bodybuilder.
Oh, 100%.
He's not, that's not a beach, that's not an attainable physique anymore. You can get it if you work hard, but that's not what it originally started out, how it's evolved. And it's, I think the Americans embraced men's physique a lot, and they obviously want to do everything bigger and better than everybody else. So if you look at the evolution of men's physique, it used to be like just guys that were toned, weren't they? In shape, and they weren't over muscular, they didn't have like massive shoulders and this, that and the other. And now you look at people like Ryan Terry.
It was originally a look that the general public could go, I can attain that, I can go get that. And on the flip side, for the female perspective, say looking at men and that, it was more attractive. Yeah. Because obviously the freak looks not everyone's cup of tea, which we totally understand. But I mean, on that flip side of things, the sport is growing in a rapid rate. If you look at men's open bodybuilding, there's an argument. Was it better in the 80s and 90s condition-wise? Probably 100%. Yeah. But then you've got to remember, these guys now, they're 20, 30, 40 pounds heavier than they was. And no matter what anyone says, the more muscle tissue you've got, the harder it is to get it conditioned. But it's where are we going with the sport? Because on paper, you say it's getting bigger and bigger. So something must be working.
Yeah. That's why I always think like there should be like a criteria. Before you go into a show, you kind of need to know what their criteria is, what the judging criteria is. Because how do you know you're bringing the best? You can bring the best package that you can put together and you and your coach can put together, but how do you know that's what the judges are looking for? So if they had this kind of clear criteria right at the beginning of the year, right, it's the season now, so this is the criteria we're looking in for heavyweights, this is the criteria for open bodybuilding, this is the criteria for
and the
classic.
Frustrating thing is you can't work out the judging criteria, but you could sit in the theatre or wherever it is, and one class will come on, you could be your middleweights, heavyweights, whatever, and they'll go for two totally different looks. So there is no consistency with that judging, which is frustrating.
Exactly, frustrating from that because you don't know how you're going to...
Some of the federations give you feedback now, which is always nice, but it's rushed feedback as well. And 9 times out of 10, guys will change the look to what the judges want, and they still won't get the nod. So, you know, I would personally rather bring a physique to the stage that I'm impressed with, that I think is cool, than what the judges would place me on. But you got to have that balance, right? I've done a bit of judging as well. I mean, Weber asked me to come back to do a bit of judging, and I remember doing the bikini girls, and I was like, what the fuck am I judging? Like, what do I...
Is it what's the criteria?
Is it face? Is it legs? What am I... And all the guys could say was, don't really know. So you know what I mean? That is how...
Again, bikini's another one. Like, you look at some of the bikini athletes and they're quite toned, and then you look at some of the other female bikini and they're very skinny. They've got ribs on show, and you're like, well, for me, a bikini is supposed to be like a healthy look. Like a little toned and
it is. You're 100% right. Do you know what's controversial? With the controversial one at the moment, every woman wants to be a wellness.
You knew you were going to say wellness there. Because I've got bigger legs. I'm going to be wellness now.
What they don't understand, just because your body fat's a little bit higher in the lower section, you're not wellness. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. It's crazy.
You've got
tissued up,
chubby legs.
Yeah,
pro wellness. They're fucking...
They're toned up.
Lean, toned, tight, and then,
good.
you know, every girl wants to be wellness. And
it's like a cop-out, innit?
I mean, we're going down the line now. I hate
Fucking
it.
say it.
I sit on TikTok and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I had to comment on a girl's post the other day, online coach, not done any qualifications. She was basically saying, this is how I get a peachy bum. A big bum was her words. She was doing hyperextensions, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm old school, but for me, them hyperextensions are hitting your hamstrings, then they're hitting your glutes here at the top of the movement. Why are you not doing the fundamentals? Like, you want to be wellness. Like, you got to squat, you got to do the heavy stuff. But again, if we knock all the fluffy crap away, everyone wants to be lazy these days.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are willing to work for it. And Paul, I mean, it's bodybuilding and it's business. Yeah. And it's definitely a generational thing. Since people can see more and they've got access to more knowledge, they think they can take their foot off the gas. So if you look at like the Trained by JP ways, JP can do one working set. He's got enough muscle tissue to stimulate in one set. If you're little Jimmy down the gym who's 9 stone wet, you can't do one working set. You're not progressing your strength. You're not going to stimulate enough muscles. You know, you've got to be doing more. And I think people want to get away with less. And
we've said this before. There's too much information now.
Yeah, 100%. It's confusing people.
You and I were, like, we'll go back to like bodybuilding. Like say, when you first started out into the gym, it was reading a magazine. But if you wanted to learn how to lift, you went to a proper bodybuilding.
Yeah. And you learned
from
the guys.
To the guys there, and you were like, right, I want to put some weight on. How do we do it? Well, you need to bench and you need to squat.
100%.
You know, heavy compound lifting.
Yeah.
Basic. So, like, one of the other things I don't like is kit.
Yeah.
Like, there's some amazing bits of kit out there now, but people massively overcomplicate. And you're like you say, you're 9 stone ringing wet. You don't need to learn about torque profiles and this.
No. Like with the prime, middle peg it, away you go. Stop overthinking it. But do you know what I've noticed as well? And if we go down the gym route, and the gyms have evolved, up here is fantastic. Down south it's not so good. It's gone backwards. We had especially Croydon, we were notorious for producing good bodybuilders, and there's a reason behind that. We had a bodybuilding hub and community that was coming out of one gym. So it was just spreading to the youngsters and everyone was breaking through. What a lot of gyms have done now is they become a victim of their own success. So they get the money in, they update the machines, but the machines get absolutely wrecked and whatever by your general user. It's bad. Your commercial gym user that's not used to going to a fitness establishment. And the bodybuilders, the strongmen, even your high rocks athletes now, they're getting pushed aside. But I don't know about you, Paul, but what I've noticed is them people, your bodybuilders, your strongmen, your elite athletes, they're the hub of the gym. They keep things in order without you having to worry management-wise. When you start deleting them, all kinds of shit goes on the gym floor. It goes crazy, and I think it's becoming a new tradition.
It's this level of appreciation. So someone that's into bodybuilding and maybe like someone like yourself, you know the difference between a good gym and a not so good gym because you've trained at enough different gyms and you know about quality of equipment and you know what works. Whereas some of these people are they're starting their bodybuilding or their fitness journeys in a pure gym. Or a JD gym, and the kit's crap, and people don't respect it because they're just paying 20 quid a month. They don't care.
But it's the simple things as well. If you break something, just say it. Cables snap. We all know that stuff. Don't just leave it and run away. You know what I mean? Like have some balls. But it's just silly stuff that gets to me on the gym floor now. Down south, I've had to join a members-only gym, so it's like an exclusive gym. They accepted me into there, so there's a few bodybuilders and that. It's the best environment I've been in down south for a while. I returned to the commercial gym, which is meant to be the bodybuilding gym, and I had my gym pin taken off of me. They were arguing about using that because it's breaking machines. You have people with a bigger setup than we've got today. It's fucking crazy. And no one works. Do you know when you look around, everyone's heads down, texting and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, you're either there fair enough to work out or to train, but you've come to the gym with purpose, and that purpose has been forgotten. So
I could see. So what do you think about? So have you seen the thing online about Doherty's gym in Australia where he banned tripods? Any kind of filming in the gym now is banned unless you want to buy a media pass. And you
now don't get me wrong. I think there is a time and place. Form check. There are decent influencers out there. I don't disagree with that. But what has really, really pulled my pisser is these people that have an entitlement of a public gym. I just don't get it. You've walked in front of my tripod. And there was some, like, when I was at the gym, like, this week, there were some whoppers. Like, they're not little mini tripods. What did you used to call them? Gorillas, the little ones.
Little gorilla pod, yeah.
They're, like, bigger than the person. But I was doing cardio yesterday, and I'm trying to work out what this guy was actually filming. He's set up for half an hour, incline plate-loaded machine, 4 reps. And I'm like, you've prematurely popped. You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't get what people find entertaining, but everyone feels like they need to be producing content.
Yeah, they do, yeah. It's like a trend, isn't it, now?
But can you blame them, Paul? Like, the people that do make it, like some of these Instagram and TikTok guys now, they're making $8,000 from TikTok going live. So I can't blame them for wanting to be hungry. And I can't blame them for coming to the gym and all that. It's just, you know, sometimes it is worth going to the biggest guy in the gym or the strongest guy and saying, what are you doing, mate? You know what I mean? And having that conversation.
What a lot of people don't realise, and you've probably seen it, so the people that are making serious money doing online coaching and producing content, the shoots that they're doing for content is not their training.
Yeah.
They will train and not film.
Yeah.
Because they need to put their work in, because they need to look a certain way. Then what they will do is they will schedule a day in their week where they will film 4 or 5 videos of pure content.
Yeah.
So they're so organised and planned now that they know, well, it's not effective training to be messing around setting something up for half an hour constantly. So they go, right, well, 5 days a week I train. And I don't even film anything.
Yeah.
1 day a week is my content day. They treat it like a job.
Which is perfect.
And that's exactly what they're doing.
And I'm not having a go at the new generation at all. There's a time and place for it, as we've said. And it's respectable. But it's almost as if courtesy for the other person's kind of gone missing. It's like me, if someone's struggling, I'll go and spot them. Where now it's like someone would rather see you struggle kind of thing. You know what I mean? But
we allow filming in the gym, and we've never had an issue. No one's ever come to me or my manager or one of my members of staff or you when you've been training, or sure you, and said, oh, this guy won't move his tripod or whatever.
Yeah.
Because people will go, are you filming? Yeah. Do you mind if I move? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Courteous. They're polite, but they have that interaction with people.
Yeah, which is nice.
Exactly. Whereas a lot of people, they won't even have the interaction.
Where in Croydon, you ask someone to move their tripod because you want to use the machine that they've plotted it up against, they're kissing their teeth. Yeah, and it's crazy. But I've always said, obviously, since I've been up here, it's a joy. Like, training is a joy. You've got so many good gyms where the members are good as well. They respect each other. Obviously, people up here are more friendly anyway.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I walked the dog up here and someone said good morning. Like, I literally I shit myself, honestly. In London, you don't get that. You know what I mean? If someone says good morning, what do you want? Like, that's the reply. Like, what you after? But it is nice. The gym ethics, the gym etiquette, there's a lot more of it up here. And the further north you go, I honestly believe that. But when you're down south, it's every man for himself. It really is at the moment.
What do you think about the current state of, like, bodybuilding? Like, we mentioned it before, like, there was a thing that popped up a few weeks ago about this new men's wellness class.
It sits side and side with one of my other arguments, but there's no place for it. I don't believe there is a place for that. You're taking an elite product and making it average. IFBB actually came out and they said, we're not rolling with this.
Yeah.
This isn't part of our criteria. It was just a Brazilian federation, I think, that was suited for the guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know where that goes. Now, new categories obviously are added, as we've seen with men's physique and stuff like that, every now and then.
I mean, I can see, looking at it from a purist point of view, like, people might look at men's physique and say, oh, you're diluting bodybuilding. And I understand that, but these shows and these federations, it's operating like a business, and
exactly
the health and fitness industry is worth billions. And as a business, you want to appeal to as many people as possible.
I mean, we used to have a big gripe against them, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like, bodybuilders and men's physique guys. But you soon realise if bodybuilding was out there by its own, you didn't have classic and men's physique. You ain't got the federations. You ain't got the the money, as you said.
And it's about making it more like say from a business point of view, it's making it more market viable. You know, we were discussing a project on like another gym, and I was like, do we go down the route of opening like a bodybuilding gym?
Yeah.
Which is great, and you can make good money, but you still are dealing with the minority.
Yeah.
Or do we go down the route of opening like a fitness gym?
Yeah.
Which will appeal to 3,000-4,000 members, and you'll make a hell of a lot of money,
Exactly.
more money, but it might not be your passion. Where do you follow your passion, or do you?
And I think a lot of gyms have gone that way.
They're going to the business. They want the money.
They've smelt the money and they've rolled with it, you know, and they don't really care who they upset on the way.
Yeah. And that's why I think I'm sure you'll agree. Like you've been up this part. You've trained down south. There's some good gyms down south. There's some excellent gyms, and I think that the bodybuilding gyms, I think they do an excellent job. You've got places like Ultraflex, Strength Asylum. You know, these are bodybuilding gyms.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's what they do really well. They don't fuzz it over. They're not full of treadmills. They are not trying to appeal to a fitness market. They're like, we're a bodybuilding. Like we always market ours as a serious training facility.
Yeah.
Because not everyone. Sometimes the bodybuilder can have a stigma attached. They just think it's big sweaty guys that are trimmed up to the eyeballs, lifting heavy weights. Whereas if you market it as a serious training facility, no matter what you're into, you're taking it serious. Yeah. You're a serious bodybuilder. You're a serious strongman. You're seriously lazy. So do you know what I mean? So it's about marketing it. But again, you know, we're predominantly a bodybuilding gym, Ultraflex, bodybuilding gym, Strength Asylum, bodybuilding gym. They know what they are. They know what market they're appealing to, and they know how to get a clientele through the door.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, obviously, I've got no numbers on the top of my head, but if you look at your commercial gym, say like your, I don't know, I'm trying to think.
Like a JD gym.
Yeah, not even a JD. Like you got Snap down south, Anytime Fitness, all them they come and they go. They close down quite quickly. Where if you see a lot of the fitness-based gyms, they have branched out. You look at Ultraflex as a chain; it's gone crazy. Gyms are expanding, so I think now it's fashionable. That's the big word. It's
bodybuilding
fashionable
to become fashionable. Gym. We've spoken about it before. Like the culture when we were young, you would go out with your mates and you'd meet them in the pub on a Saturday and you'd spend all afternoon in the pub and then you go into town at night and that was your weekend. You'd play pool, you'd play darts. Whereas like the younger generation, they're hanging out at coffee shops, they're eating out at restaurants. I didn't go to a restaurant with my mates when I was like, you know, a young 20-odd-year-old. You wouldn't sit down and have a meal with me. Where now it's normal to do that. It's normal for them to go to the gym. Whereas, like, I remember the first gym I went to, there was like 40 guys that trained there. That was it. 40 then they were serious and they were all.
And you knew everyone by their first name and what time they were going to be there.
Exactly, and you got in with them, and then it wasn't so massive. Whereas now, like everyone goes to the gym, and it's great. Like I'm very pro health and fitness. Whether you come to my gym or not, if you're engaging in any kind of sport or anything to keep you fit and healthy, I'm pro that. You want to go for a walk, go for a walk. You want to ride your bike, go to your bike. You want to come to the gym, go to the gym. There's some great gyms. So I'm very pro that, and it's nice to see how that's kind of increased over the years. What about in terms of like when you were going like online coaching? What are the challenges that you faced? Any particular challenges?
The main challenge I find with online coaching is if you're the person of the moment. People coach hot. Especially when you're going for people that prep and stuff. So a lot of people now are finding themselves coaches having to do bodybuilding shows to stay relevant. And we've all had it. And everyone sells online coaching to be very glamorous, and it's only very glamorous for a select few because you will have dips and stuff. A lot of people are very successful for it, but if you do go out the mainstream, a lot of these online coaches, they are working a job. They just won't broadcast that. And it is hidden from a lot of the youth. And I've seen a lot of the youth, especially people in their like late teens, early 20s, straight away, online coach on their Instagram bio.
Yeah.
And you're like putting a bit of content up, even putting a couple of advertisements on Facebook or Instagram, paying for them. It's just so much more of a longer wind.
There's people out there that are thriving on that kind of market, though, and they're saying, "Oh, well, you can be an online coach. We can help you to be 10 grand a month."
This is it.
And you're like, the only reason you're earning 10 grand a month is because you're conning these people to pay you money. That's why you're not earning 10 grand a month from your clients. You're earning it because you're making out that you're successful and you can help people earn their money.
Big problem with people that are undertrained to do the role is the effect that they have on the general public. So what you tend to find is a lot of them have a coach themselves that has a coach. That program's now been copied and pasted 3 times. It's not goal specific to that client. You haven't got necessarily the skills to deal with that client on a customer basis as well.
The skills and the knowledge.
So you're going to lose them, but it's a knock-on effect. Potentially now that client's had a bad taste of coaching and they're not going to go back for more. So you're almost diluting the market. But I'm not against people doing it. I was once that young guy, and this is what the thing that people don't realise, you know what I mean? I was once that 19-year-old that came out of... Central YMCA doing my advanced level 3 over the moon thinking, oh, my world's going to change now, and I soon realised I'm going to have to graft, you know what I mean? And it took me years to 1, build a physique myself, but 2, to gain the trust of clients, because you need to show, and a lot of these guys, their textbook knowledge is fantastic, like it's brilliant, but you've got textbook knowledge and then you've got putting it into practice. And I think that's where it goes missing a lot. So, and I'm not discouraging people that want to start it. I highly encourage it, but it would just be great if it was regulated some way better.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I always think you want to be learning from the people that are where you want to be, and the only way you're going to learn if they're where you want to be is by real world results. So, a prime example of this is like my favourite subject at school was business studies. I had little sideline businesses when I was at school to make money because that's what I wanted to go into. I always wanted to own my own business of some sort. But in order to learn about business, I was at school and I had to go to college and learn about it. And you learn about all the principles of it. But then when you have your own business, it's totally different. All these things that you learn are not really relevant. And I was like, but we encourage people to go into education. So before you decide to go down the route of education, go and have a walk around the staff car park and have a look what cars your lecturers are driving. And if there isn't a car in that car park that you want to drive, why are you listening to them? Go and speak to a business owner. Go and have a look what car they drive. Do they drive the kind of car you want to drive? Yeah. Okay, so go and ask that guy to spend some time with him. You go and have a look at an online coach. How many clients does that online coach have? Is he living the lifestyle and earning the money you want to? Yeah. Then go and ask him for help. Go to that person, because they're doing what you want to do. They're earning the kind of money that you want to do. So if you want to learn how to do it, they've made all the mistakes. They've had all the experience. What
I found is really good at the moment, and which has worked really well with the online coaching, is when you get a massively popular online coach who's got, say, over 100 clients, and then they're bringing another coach on board and they're educating them. There's some coaching companies out there that personally I wouldn't use because I'm very loyal to my own coach. But when you look at their actual education program that they're doing for the coaches that they're onboarding, and the structure kind of stays the same within the training principles and that, I think that's fantastic. And I think for any young person that wants to get into it, if I could rewind the clocks and I was in this generation, that's the route I'd be going, and getting a mentor figure as well with that.
Mentoring is a massive, a big thing. Like, excellent. Anything you guys want to add?
What's like, so if there's people out there that are thinking about getting an online coach, how would you best tell them to go around being a client? Like, do's and don'ts of being a client. Do you know what I mean? What are you looking for in a client?
The main thing I look for personally is them being honest. We've got to have a two-way relationship. I've had clients in the past where you've had to sever the tie because it just doesn't work. If you can't relate to the person sometimes and you can't get the results out of them, honesty is the best policy sometimes, and just say, look, this isn't working, I'll refund the money, go elsewhere. But it's normally because of their own mental mindset. With online coaching, it's a very niche area. You need to be self-motivated to do the online coaching, because you can't hold their hand physically the whole journey. It's not like being a one-to-one PT where you can motivate them for that hour in the gym. So that's one big thing. I like people just to track everything. If you do mess up on your diet, just let me know, because what people don't think, it's really easy to correct. Like, we can correct that for you the next day. we can just pull you back a little bit, or we can catch it up on the end of the week. But they get a little bit nervous, I find, where I've had it in the past. I've gone, look, I've just transitioned from off-season eating a burger every day to going dry, basically, and back onto dry food. Yeah. The temptations and the urges are going to be there. Just be honest. That's what your coach is there for. What I don't necessarily like is long respond times for coaches. I think that's a red flag instantly. If your coach is taking 3 days, a week to get back to you, they're either too busy or they're too busy doing nothing. You know what I mean? They've forgotten about you. You're not priority. That's poor customer service. Get yourself out of there. And I've seen it a lot recently where people are writing like massive complaints on Insta and all that. My coach is taking 3 days. This is competitors as well. Sometimes in their peak week where the hour is critical. You know what I mean? Not alone 3 days.
Yeah.
So,
Jittery.
yes, and for coaches, organisation's key. Spreading your check-ins up. You want a good work-life balance, and it is a very luxurious life when you get it right. If you get it wrong, it's an absolute pain in the backside because you'll be out and about, shopping with the missus or doing whatever. Someone will text you, oh, here's my check-in pictures. And you're like, I've done all my check-ins this morning. You know what I mean? So it's getting everyone militant and in routine. So they're two big things.
Okay. Anything else? Anything you want to go over, Bryn?
No, it's like you were saying then with the response times, because I've noticed a lot of coaches.
I think
they like to put up the accessible 24/7.
Yeah,
it's like, not. Well, you're not because we know you sleep.
We can't.
Yeah,
and like
we know you sleep.
Yeah,
like you might sleep hanging from the ceiling and that, but you know what I mean. We know. And at some point you've got your own time.
Yeah, the big coaches as well that have again got these over 100 clients. They want a life, you know what I mean, as well. So they do try to get their work done before 12. Yeah, and they want family time and the rest of it. So
I know online coaches who have got 2,000 clients.
Yeah,
but then they have a team of people working under them,
and this is what
so they will oversee. They set up the initial plans. They do the initial part, and then they will say, right, okay, Danny, I've got this customer. This is what they're doing. You're looking after this one. You're looking at, and then they will oversee. Yeah. And so they're working it like a corporation. And
that's what you want it. You want it to get that big that you've got your coaches, personal trainers working under you, but you've also got people doing your marketing, your advertising, your social medias.
Yeah.
So you are just a businessman at the top at the end of the day. Like the product is yours. You're selling your product, but you're enjoying.
Yeah. Exactly. Think of it like a corporation.
Yeah.
That Mr. Sainsbury's isn't baking his own bread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got people doing it for him. He's focusing on growing the business and making sure.
One thing that really opened my eyes recently, obviously, I've been at a coaching role basically with a lot of middle-aged people recently. I always thought, as soon as I come out my 30s, in like where I am now, well, I'm in my 30s, early 30s, where's my client base? Where's my niche going? Because obviously I used to have a lot of young people, a lot of young working professionals. Where do I target now? And there is a big panic. And I would literally, my advice would be is just sit back. There's so much more money and stuff in other areas you haven't thought about.
Yeah.
Working with like the middle-aged people that have got health problems, going through divorces and stuff like that. They're some of the best clients, honestly, because they're so motivated to turn their life around because they've been told, this is your last chance. Your blood pressure's through the roof. This is life-changing for you.
Well, they reckon that the 30 to 40-year-old age bracket now is the fastest growing part of the industry because you're getting a lot, like you say, like modern life has changed a lot. So you're getting a lot of people that are getting into the 30s and the children are a bit older. Them and the partner might be separated or divorced and they're trying to rebuild a life.
Yeah.
And one of the things that people will do is they want to get healthier and fitter. They want to live longer. Longevity is a big thing. So these people are getting into the gym. They come into it like 30, 34, 35. I want to get in shape. I want to get back into the gym. I want to turn my life around. I've just started dating again.
Exactly.
In the 30s, in the 40s sort of thing.
One of the most rewarding things I've found as well is you turn their life around physically, but you actually reset their mindset. So that dead-end job that they was in or that rat race that they were stuck in, I had one woman last month, she came to me, turned her life around basically, and she was working on a market stall. She said, I'm better than this. I said, yeah, of course you are. You know what I mean? You are what you are. She said, no. She said, I worked for BA as a hostess for years. I was top dog. She said, I'm going to quit that job. So next session, she's gone, Dan, I've quit that job. And I'm going, fucking hell, like, what are you doing? Like, what about your bills and all this?
How's me feet going to get paid?
But gets a new job next week. And I'm like, so you've not only given that person health, physique, you've developed their life. And that's one of the most rewarding things I've seen, especially from the online coaching point of view as well. It's just basically total mind strengthening and conditioning as well. Because we all get in a slump sometimes.
Everyone gets down,
So,
Okay. Excellent. Well, it's been great having you on the show. We're going to wrap it up. We will put the details of your online coaching up on and links to your Instagram.
It's been a pleasure.
So if anyone wants to, looking for a good quality online coach, is Gym Bros approved.
Yep.
Gym Bros approved.
And I've got a tactical backpack. With badges on.
Or you're not a bell end.
But you're not a bell end.
And I wear it with 2 straps.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for coming on today, Danny.
Thanks,
Really
guys.
appreciate it.
It's been an absolute
So we'll pop your social media up. So Josh, what have people got to do?
Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.